Hello and welcome to my presentation. My name is Clement Chuaula and this is my final project. Today I'll be speaking to you about my proposed recommendations for the Hudson River project. And the main goal of the project is to eliminate about 2.7 million cubic yards of contaminated sediments from the bottom of the river. And that's being done to protect the river environment and also human health. So the EPA recommends the concentration levels of the PCB in the waters in the rivers to be reduced to less than 0.05 parts per million. And the dredging of the river itself, indirectly or directly, has negative impacts on human health, the ecology, and the wildlife. So as a government agent, it's my duty to make sure that we mitigate some of those impacts and try as much as possible to minimize the damage. And so my proposed recommendations are with regard to some of the potential problems, which are resuspension of the sediments from the bottom of the river during dredging, and thereby potentially causing widespread contamination of the river, and contamination of public water, since the Hudson River provides public water sources to the residents along the river. And I'm concerned with the transportation of the materials and where they are going to be disposed of. I'm concerned there will be leakages, and I'm concerned there will be contamination, further contamination of the environment where they've been dumped, and the occupational hazards for the workers working in an environment with these toxins. And another concern of mine is the disturbance of the people living along the river itself, where especially the section that the dredging is occurring at that time. Are they protected enough from the noise and the light and other disturbances? And that the river ecology, definitely there's going to be damage to the river system, directly or indirectly from the project itself. So how are they going to mitigate, how are they going to minimize the destruction? And so I propose that they use safer methods of dredging, using the clamshell bucket dredging, which has shown to be very effective in reducing the resuspension of PCB sediments. And also to protect the water supplies for the people, the water sources. There's a need to safeguard the concentration levels of the PCBs in the river to, as I said, as less than 0.05 parts per million, and to continue monitoring a concentration, the presence of PCBs in the waters, and also to minimize spillage. There's a need to find safer transportation method, and probably using materials that could protect or could be used as a barrier to protect the environment itself, like plastic sheeting and containers. And I recommend also that all the workers are protected as per regulations, as per the OSHA laws and regulations, to protect them from harm during work. And the river to be repopulated, like restoration project, and probably to minimize light and noise by using sound barriers and light barriers, in addition to being vigilant about it. And one of the problems that I noticed during our discussion with the EPA was that the toxicity was being determined in animals, mostly experimentally, but no human beings. There aren't many studies done on human beings to determine the toxicity. And that especially for the people who have been exposed before and as continually being exposed to PCB toxicities at the moment. So I encourage further research and human testing so that these people have better health. Thank you.